1.5 million people, you say, have gone back to your theaters and your entertainment complexes since the reopening, which I guess wasn't that long ago. So was this a surprise to you, this number? Did you think it would be less or more, Ellis?
It was pretty much, in line and slightly higher than we expected, but a lot of it has to do with the content that was there, and also the fact that we've kept our guests and our employees safe through this whole process. When somebody goes to a movie theater, I want them to feel safe and to tell their friends it was a great environment and they had an awesome time. And to me, that's really critical.
Can you share, like, on a percentage basis, how much lower is this from a typical period, like say last year? Is this obviously it's down, but how much is it down?
Yeah, and it's hard because it varies by the type of movie that's out there, and there's not a lot of content. That's been the hardest part. The good news is, for the first time ever, we opened movies in Canada before the US. A movie like Tenant opened the same time as Europe. Unhinged opened early, and SpongeBob was another movie that we opened in Canada. So we were ahead and, following the appropriate protocols. And some weeks, you're as high as 30 to 40% of the prior year, and other weeks it drops slightly lower. But that's also driven by the fact that we've got limited capacity because, for example, in Ontario, we can only have a maximum of 50 individuals in an auditorium with, physical distancing. And we are very careful that we have that physical distancing with a checkerboard approach to where you're sitting, unless you're with somebody as part of your family.
I know you got to do it. Like, there's no option. But I mean, how much longer can you go on like that? Can you be profitable when you have to space people out like that?
It's tough on a Friday, Saturday evening because what happens, those are the busiest periods of time. But with the new work habits of people and scattering them across the week, it makes it a little bit more palatable, but it is tough, as we move forward. But we're doing everything we can.
Yeah, I bet. Now, the 1.5 million, how much of that is due to this Tenet movie? I'm thinking a lot. Am I right?
Yeah, Tenant was very big, but we also had Unhinged and SpongeBob, which did quite well because there was no kids features in the theaters, and SpongeBob was a good one that we put in as part of our offering.
So, what about now for the rest of the year? What are you hearing from the studios? Like, what are we getting? What are you going to show in the theaters the next few months before the end of the year?
Yeah, and we are trying to make sure that, the movies that are scheduled to be released stay on their dates. But the challenge for the studios is, as countries and US states aren't open, they basically are waiting and seeing what they should do, because they don't want to release the movie and only have half of the theaters available for consumption.
So you don't know what you're getting? Do you know what you're getting, or you haven't heard yet? Did they tell you last minute?
We know pretty well, the schedule that we are faced with, but the thing is it could move, and that's the challenge. The big movies coming up, we have the Bond movie that is still dated for November. We've had Wonder Woman that's moved to December, and then, Black Widow is a Disney movie, but we don't know if they're going to retain it where it is or they're going to move it because of the status of the US.
But are you more hopeful now than you were? I mean, obviously we're all, worried about the second wave and all that, but I mean, from a business standpoint, are you more confident in what's going to happen with the business now?
As you said, it depends on what happens with the virus and the impact it has. But I feel very strongly that if the content is available, then we, with our proper protocols, will be in a good position to entertain Canadians from coast to coast. And that is our goal.